YouTube. Today, I'm gonna be reacting to this video because I was just surfing the tube, right? I was surfing the tube, and then I came across this video called "The Marvel Rivals Will Never Be a Competitive Game," and our low-key was just very interested on it because I feel like Rivals is a game that is very controversial in terms of whether it's competitive or not. So we're gonna be back to this video today. I hope you all have a good time watching. Like, hit the sub, hit the bell, repeat that process, hit the bell again. Let's get it.
All right, forgive me. I am at a hotel right now, so I don't have my best setup, and I also don't have my mic. But I have to just go on this rant. Marvel Rivals will never ever be a competitive game. I don't
That's
care what
false.
no one says. I'm so
You're
sick and
not
tired of like these pro players like thinking Marvel Rivals is like competitive. I'm sorry, sir. You are
I want to see
playing an
why.
uncompetitive game. And stop coping. Anyone who thinks Marvel Rivals is competitive is an actual cope chud. Okay, they're just
So I'm a
coping.
chud.
I'm not saying you guys are bad players. I'm just saying you guys think that like you're playing an esports game. Anyone who thinks Marvel
This game
Rivals
can be esports.
is
That's the
competitive
problem.
is actually
That's the problem with netties. I feel like they tried to make it competitive, and it is no doubt about that. Why do you think rank is so toxic? Because people care about the game and want to get a high rank. But at the same time, the balancing is the worst part of this game because they don't know how to balance their characters. You had a hella running rampant since day one until season 6.5, I believe it was. And then you release Phoenix, who's just a hella clone, and you don't nerf her. Where's the balancing in that? And not even just that, you have characters that have been underpowered since day one, like Wanda, who was only good when the game started because people didn't want to play the game. And then as like they got a month in, and she's like, oh, she's the worst character in the game easily. Like literally, the problem is that the dev team doesn't know how to balance. That's really it.
delusion.
This game, if it was competitive, it has a Disney IP being Marvel. If it was able to be like a true esport, make shitloads of money.
No, like delusional. They don't see.
And there is a competitive
I don't
scene.
think they
There is an
understand
esports
like
scene.
true competitive game like works.
But I want to see what he
For
says.
example, let's just talk about Marvel Rivals here for a second, and then we'll just I guess back up my claim
Also, what
here.
is this Blake
Marvel
gameplay?
Rivals
This guy is not. This guy's
is so uncompetitive that they have characters like, for example, Rocket Raccoon, who can provide immense amounts of value if you throw your respawn beacon down, sit in the back of the map like a good boy, and hold right click.
See, the problem with that is that you can't do that because you're gonna have teammates that are on like Psylocke, for example. You'd have to build a comp to allow him to do that. You have Psylocke flanking, and you could flank with Rocket because his heals bounce and they don't expire from any contact, or they just don't expire at all. You could literally go and flank with your Psylocke, heal from her flanking, and then you could also hit your front line and your back line. Rocket has a little bit of a skill ceiling that people don't know of because of how his heals bounce. That like you can do that. Like you could do that, not theoretically. You could literally do that, but you're not gonna get as much value as a Rocket that's backlining or flanking with their duelists.
That's how uncompetitive.
The problem with this game is that they have characters that are low risk, high reward. Hella, like I said, Phoenix. Like
Rivals is. Marvel Rivals is so uncompetitive. I could teach a
but
chimpanzee,
I feel like that doesn't make
a
it
literal monkey,
uncompetitive.
a chimpanzee, how to play Rocket Raccoon, and they can get to eternity in a week. That's how uncompetitive Marvel Rivals is. You
Like
sit in the back
you
of the
can
map.
be on Overwatch and sit in the back of the map and just snipe people with heals. Use sleep dart when you get delve on. Use sleep dart, shoot, and your nade when you get healed on, or nade their tank, and you'd still get value. It's the same
You
situation.
hold right click on a certain character. You pop your Q at a. You can maybe make one or two mistakes that game on Rocket by clicking Q incorrectly, and you still win the match. That's how uncompetitive Marvel Rivals is. Marvel Rivals is so
That's such a poor
uncompetitive
argument.
that characters will literally climb you ranks if you play them long enough. For example, we'll use
That's any game.
Bucky. We'll use Bucky, for example.
See, this,
Or
you know what's the
Namor,
problem
but we'll
too?
use Bucky like
He's
we'll leave
doing
it for
this
Namor.
as a coping
Bucky.
mechanism because he just lost a
Let
ranked
me
game.
explain to you guys this character. This character can grapple the enemies towards him. Bucky can grapple multiple enemies towards him if they're close enough.
I can play pre-nerf chamber a whole act of Valorant. Let's just do this for an example. Because he's talking about broken characters. Talk about broken characters. I can play pre-nerf chamber and only play him, and I'd climb ranks. You know why? Because there's a thing called character mastery. Even after he got nerfed, the people that have been grinding chamber are still good at chamber because they have character mastery. Have you ever thought about that? There's a guy who hasn't shot his gun once on Rocket, or I think it's it was the no heal or no gun Rocket. I forgot. He got to top 500. There's probably a guy who did Wanda only top 500. Well, no shit. Character mastery.
He can also do a 360, punch the enemies towards your team, also while gaining overshield doing it. Then I also mentioned that Bucky, when he punches your team, he grounds your team. So your team can't use abilities to escape this Bucky pull, to escape this
I see my
kidnap.
camera. I just noticed that.
Did I also mention that when he punches your team, he gets another bit of overshield? Oh, did I also mention he has projectiles the size of cannonballs that can two-tap any squishy in the game? He also has an ability with 2 cooldowns that can slow enemies down, do damage, and knock flyers all at the same time. Oh, did I also mention that he also gets overshield again if he uses that ability?
Knocking down flyers helps the flyers.
Let's talk about his ultimate. His ultimate is infinite as long as you get kills with your ultimate.
You can get knocked down, which will help you reposition.
His ultimate does a decent amount of damage. Yeah, it applies a stack of a burnout effect, that if you hit the burnout effect amount on the enemy, you get your ultimate reset and they instantly explode and die. Oh, did I also mention he gets more overshield when he uses his ultimate? Wow, man, it seems like a pretty hard character to play. It seems like a really difficult character to play. There's no risk. Like, playing Bucky is so low risk for such high value that it's laughable. We'll talk about one more character. Invisible Woman has a push.
Don't go running in the comments. I had a shitty argument at first.
A shield that can be tossed to her team or herself that heals her team, protects her team or herself, that also slows enemies down if they pass through, that could also jump away, become invisible from her jump, get healed inside the invisibility, has a shift that does damage, knocks flowers, and slows enemies down. 1, 2, 3. And has a ultimate that makes your team invisible while healing them. That slows the enemies down if they enter or exit the ultimate. When you have characters, multiple characters that are so low risk for such high value, the game becomes uncompetitive. We haven't even gotten to the support rotation.
Because I know this when they first started the game. They had the idea of everyone's broken,
immortality of the supports. We haven't even gotten to the DPS being the most useless role in Rivals right now. The highest skill ceiling role in Rivals right now is the worst role in the game right now.
Well, because of the balancing, I'd say tank is.
Because of triple support, how strong the supports are, our rotation, and Goat's comp. Tank, Deadpool, Thor, we'll throw in Emma Frost. Okay? When you have a game that literally has characters that play the game for you,
okay, he's cooking now.
The game becomes immediately uncompetitive. Multiple characters. I'm not talking about one character.
My question to you now
any normal competitive game would just hotfix that.
Does that mean the GOATS meta during Overwatch was that uncompetitive?
If they see a game,
because
if they see characters with such high ban rates that are just providing insane amount of value off the rip with no effort, the game literally hotfixes those characters. A real competitive game will hotfix those characters. Marvel Rivals just is doing its first hotfix this Friday, and it doesn't even tackle the core issues with the game. It's a step in the right direction. If we're running a mile, you've taken 2 steps. Okay, you still have literally the whole mile to go.
Excuse me.
Come on, bro. Like I said before, if you think Marvel Rivals is a competitive game, you're freaking delusional. Let me just support my claim again, buddy. If you guys want to start rage baiting me in the comment section, take a game like, I don't know. We'll name a few competitive games and we'll just pick a couple.
Valorant, CS,
CS:GO,
CS,
Valorant. Overwatch 2 or
Overwatch, ooh, good one.
Overwatch, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Rocket League.
Don't mention Fortnite. Fortnite is not competitive. Actually, no, it is. But the problem is the skill gaps in Fortnite are so large. I don't know if we should even fucking name that.
Street Fighter 6, Tekken, freaking
Smash Bros. He was gonna say it.
What's next? That's a few fighter. That's a bit of a variety. We have. We'll talk about.
I don't know about naming Fortnite, bro.
We'll talk about Rocket League. We'll talk about Fortnite.
Skills.
And we'll talk about
the skill
Street Fighter 6.
differential in Fortnite is so great. I don't know if we should
we'll
mention that when compared to
Okay.
Rivals.
We'll
Because
talk about
Rivals,
Rocket League, for example. Rocket League.
anyone
If you
could pick a
remove
Bucky,
the competitive
like you
system
said.
in Rocket League, the game will still be competitive. Why will Rocket League still be competitive? Rocket League is one of the most mechanically high skill ceiling games ever made.
It is the highest skill ceiling
You literally
game
have
ever
to
made.
put 2,000 hours in that game to even reach like mid rank. If Rocket League removed the competitive system, if they removed the ELO system, the game will still be competitive. Fortnite didn't even have a competitive system, and everyone recognized Fortnite as a very competitive game. Why? Because it was very, very hard to play, and you had to put in immense amounts of time to get decent at that game.
Okay,
It was a very. It has always been a very,
Back
very
then
competitive
it did,
game.
but now I feel like it's not.
Guess what?
because
They
the
added
best
a
of best
ELO
just
system.
run shit. And it's
Street
hard-
Fighter
it's
6.
so fucking
If they
hard to
took
get to your
away
level.
the ELO system in Street Fighter 6, it would be considered a competitive game. Why? Because fighting games are freaking hard. They are so difficult.
They're
Have
so
you played
damn
Street Fighter
difficult.
6, bro? Have you played Tekken? These games are you have to, bro. You have to put in thousands of hours to be decent at that game. Literally. So if they took away the competitive system, the ELO, the game would still be considered a competitive game. The only claim pro players and win above all players make, or any medal rank or any eternity, whatever, the number one claim that I hear is that Marvel Rivals has a rank system, and obviously it's competitive. Marvel
Ignite.
Rivals has a rank
Look at
system,
Ignite.
that's why it's competitive, bruh. It's obviously a competitive game if it has a rank system. That's not true! What? What? So Fortnite wasn't competitive before it had no rank system? Rocket League wouldn't be competitive? If it didn't have a, what? Street Fighter wouldn't be competitive?
I feel like
Overwatch
any game
wouldn't be
can
competitive if it didn't have a
as
rank
long
system?
as there's like a
Huh?
incentive to get good
Holy
at the game.
cope! You are coping, bro. You're coping. No, if Marvel Rivals took away the ranked system, if they took away the ELO, no one would take Marvel Rivals remotely seriously.
No, there'd be people. There definitely would be people that would take it seriously.
Remotely seriously at all. There would be no debate. Marvel Rivals isn't competitive. It doesn't even have a rank system. It's so. Oh, the characters are so overtuned. The supports are so strong, and the all rotations are just too much for that game to even be considered competitive. Also, it doesn't even have a rank system. Why? No, it's not competitive at all. That game is just for casuals. You see what I'm saying? But Marvel Rivals has a rank system, so for some reason, you chuds just think Marvel Rivals is competitive.
My question is he still
No,
playing
and it
if
never
it's
will
not
be.
competitive?
It will never be competitive unless the devs completely meta swap the game.
They
Completely.
have to pull Overwatch
The game
2.
is so overtuned, and the supports are so strong.
Or no, look at Deadlock. Look what Deadlock's doing right now. It's probably my best comparison. They literally just dropped patches within the last 2 months that completely revamp how the game is played. Like they fucking gave shitloads of buffs to certain characters. Like they literally made shit. They like look at the Shiv nerfs. If you go look at that game, just look up Shiv nerfs from the last not the March. I think it was the March 6th patch notes. They made it so that he went from having an ult that was an insta kill and it was an auto hit to a skill shot. Like they just completely revamped this character, and he still is good, but still they got to do a Deadlock, even though that game is in alpha at the same time. Just have a one patch that just revamps everyone's stats. You don't have to do an Overwatch 2. Just revamp everyone's stats, and you'll have good changes.
And some of the DPS characters, and most of the tanks, these characters are all so strong. The ults are so overtuned
But
that
that's
there's
what makes
literally
rivals
zero
sometimes.
neutral play
The
for
character,
it.
like the I'd say their kits are fine. It's just the damage, the numbers is what's crazy.
To ever be a competitive game. You watch Ignite. You watch the pro players at the highest level. I get into a win above all lobby. Let's go GOAT comps and just hold him here. We'll just go triple support. We'll go Mantis, Loki, Invis. Just farm support ults. Battery here. Battery support. Battery Invis here. We'll pop ultimate here.
That's what makes
Battery
Rivals
Invis. Battery Invis. Can we get a big? Just don't shoot your weapon. Don't shoot your weapon. We need support ults. Like no.
Just pull a deadlock and revamp everything.
I'm so sick of people saying Rivals is a competitive game. It is not a competitive game. You suck at any other competitive game. Go touch freaking Valorant. Go touch Rocket League. Go touch go touch Smash Bros.
Immortal, by the way.
Put in the same amount of effort you put into Marvel Rivals and tell me how far you get into that game.
Immortal 1. And
I played Apex Legends. I hit Apex Predator on that game. Do you know how long that freaking took me? Do you know how much of a grind that was? Do you know how much do you know how good I had to get mechanically?
4 years
at that game, and the immense amount of game knowledge I had to study to get Apex Predator.
His camera's
I'm 22 now. I've been playing games since I don't know, since I was a toddler. Let's just say 18 years. Out of my 18 years of playing games, pretty much competitively. I mean, I started on Call of Duty. I wouldn't say Call of Duty is really relatively competitive. I would say Call of Duty is more competitive than Marvel Rivals at the highest level.
Okay, I don't know about that, bro. This guy's going kind of crazy.
Since I was a jit, since I was a little kid.
Since I was a jit.
We use some Florida slang. Since I was a jit, I've been playing pretty much competitive games all my life. I have never touched a game so uncompetitive and brainwashing in my life. For some reason, the community is so brainwashed into thinking Marvel.
I'll make this statement once, and I'll stand on it. The community ruined Marvel Rivals when it first came out. It had a prime, dead ass like Fortnite. It didn't reach the heights of Fortnite, but it had a fucking good prime because nobody knew how to play the game. The community was finding itself, and the community ended up like shit.
Rivals is competitive, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. And I blame Zeong and I blame Guang for this, by the way. I blame Guang and Zeong for the toxicity problem in Rivals too. You guys created the system. You guys created a mega casual game and put a competitive system in it. And it has created an immense amount of toxicity. Imagine hopping on a Disney game, a Marvel Disney game, and saying, I'm going to go play Hela. She's my favorite Marvel hero.
I've heard no one ever said that in their life.
let me play Elsa Bloodstone. I know her from the comics.
Chill on that, bro. Chill on
That's
that.
why I'm on Marvel Rivals, because I'm going to play Elsa Bloodstone. I want to play Hela because she's my favorite Marvel character. That's why I want to play Marvel Rivals. No, you're playing these characters because you have to. No. I'm getting like, bro, I'm just done. I'm done. Marvel Rivals, if you, any competitive, any pro player, any win above all player, any player in the game, if you think Marvel Rivals is competitive, you're delusional completely. You are delusional. Delusional.
I'm delusional. Marvel Rivals competitive. I love y'all boys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.